All right, day two. This is where we're at so far. I went through, I got everything sanded, the face frames, which I'm going to paint. I've used 220 grit on both this sanding block, and then also I had a mouse sander. This is what's left of that, and that's the mouse sander. But I did cover everything up with bags, or tried to do the best I could to cover everything up. There's other stuff that's exposed. So prep work is the most important part of a paint job. You need something for the paint to adhere to. So I sanded, then I went back with like this sanding block to make sure you get like into the corners, because the corners are the important parts. It's easy to miss those just for the simple fact that the angle and the mouse grinder can't get in there. I use the mouse grinder for like the big spots, the larger surfaces, like going over the face frames. But then I went back around with the sanding block again to make sure I didn't miss any spots. So everything that's going to be painted needs to be sanded with the 220. Even like in here, this doorway, all that's been sanded, all that sanded, all that sanded. Thankfully, the cabinet doors, they come already sanded. So with those, all I have to do is just do the clean, get them de-dusted and de-grease with the TSP, which I'm going to go through and do all the cabinets with. With the TSP, it's moist. So it's a degreaser, but it's moist, but you have to wipe that on and let that dry and set. So that's going to probably be another day. But we're just doing this in steps, trying to get stuff done. But we do have our propane lines. The holes for those are drilled. That's all attached. That's mounted. That's good. We have access to the shutoff under here. I have to figure out something with this back panel. I want to have it so it's like velcroed in, so that way if I have to get to it quick, I don't have to worry about trying to have to unscrew it. I'd rather just be able to just pull it off. So that'll be like off video. That'll be another day, separate day, something else. But just make sure you can gain access to all your shutoffs, and the shutoff for the hot water heater also. Like everything is tight. The only missing link for the gas system is putting the stove in place and connecting these two wires for the lights on the stove and the igniter. So that's done. We have plumbing, and I'm thinking I'm about to stop now. I'm gonna go through, we're gonna get stuff like degreased, but like since I have to like clean and get all the dust out, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just start making like, there's gonna be another video. I have to do like my shower head and stuff. I'm just trying to think ahead, since if I have to de-dust and clean, I might as well just try to get as much sanded and holes and sawdust flying now. So it kind of saves me a cleaning, but I'm gonna definitely have to clean again and again and again, just with dust that's everywhere. So yeah, that's fun. But right now, sand's done. That stage is done. I'm gonna go through. I have to get all this dust out. So that's coming. All this dust needs to get flown out. Vacuum. I'm gonna vacuum first. Then I'm gonna blow, and then I'm gonna vacuum again. And then I also I have like a little brush at the end of my shop vac. Go through and just try to make sure like at least all the surfaces that are going to get painted are dust free. And then I have a tack cloth. Go through with the tack cloth. The tack cloth looks like this right here. These are tack cloths. These are good to go even in between coats and before you paint, just to make sure you get all the dust off. You don't want like dust down when you're trying to paint. So it's just it's a lot of prep work and all. I even forgot I have to do around the windows. I haven't did that yet. I'm gonna do that, but it's gonna be the same process as doing the face frames. I'm gonna sand around all of that. We're gonna degrease, and then we're gonna paint inside. And I'm still figuring out trim, but like we don't need to paint right here, but like the inside needs to get painted. So I have to go and prep that, get that sanded down and stuff, and we're gonna prep that also. But yeah, prep work. We're getting some paint. Degrease is coming. With the degrease, I plan on just taking lip-free cloth. I have lip-free cloths right here. And then I have TSP. So it's just a matter of actually taking it and wiping everything down. But let's keep going. Let me keep sanding and get that situated. And we're going to get to de-dusting, cleaning, and degreasing. Yeah. All right. So day 3, paint prep. I was planning on having paint down 3 days ago, but we're on day 3, and this is what I have so far. Everything masked off. I'm gonna go through and like all the edges and the lines, I'm gonna go through with like an actual brush first, and then I have like a foam roller that I'm gonna go through and like do all like the big panels and everything else with. But I went around the windows. And pro tip for around the windows, I just went around with the tape and then I used like a card to just kind of go around the edge to make sure that it got on there and is adhered, and then just folded it over. So we have that done for both sides. And then also trim, 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 paint, trim, 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 all over the place. So we have green everywhere. So right now, and also I have like the main cabinet on its back right now, just so that way I could paint like all the sides and get like to the bottom of the kick panels, and to make life a little easier. I'm thinking I just have to be careful when I'm moving between the two panels, not to rub against paint if I have paint down. So I plan on doing this first, this main cabinet first. We're gonna do a primer, and then we'll go and do like this side and primer, because that way if I do bump against this, it's just gonna be like on the side edge. It won't be like the full face like on here. And then like the same with this side. So I'm gonna save this side for last. But right now I have a wood primer. It says put it down, it'll be like good to the touch in an hour. But like between coat, or like before you do like your actual paint on top, it needs at least 4 hours. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna lay down a primer today, and then we're gonna do it in well, in my head this is how I plan on doing it. Primer, face frames, get that stuff situated. Then we're gonna come with the paint on the face frames and all like the flat surfaces, the places, the big areas are gonna stay like affixed. Get countertops in, so that way I could put down a tarp and I could have the cabinet doors in here, so I could paint like the back side first, let that stuff set dry, and then do the, well, mount them and then do the fronts when they're actually mounting on the cabinets. So it's like a stage with this, or steps to this, just based off of like the space that I actually have available. So I'm just gonna keep that in mind, like when I'm doing what I'm doing. So it's not, I can't just like paint, primer, like all the cabinet doors and the cabinets and everything at once. This is gonna be like a stage thing, just trying to use the most of the space. And I might actually turn the AC on when I'm doing this, so I don't want to sweat and have sweat dripping on the paint and stuff. As long as the temperature is above 50 degrees, we should be good. It's not going to be below that in here, even overnight. So we should be good. And then also I'm using Eco's paint. It's water-based, safe, eco-friendly. So there's no like vapor or anything I have to worry about like breathing this in. It's pretty much made for like nurseries and just people who are real conscious about like the breathing quality of the air in their vehicles or their homes. So that's why I went with that. So I could paint in here with the AC going and not have to worry about blacking out, which is a good thing. But we're on day 3. I'm gonna get some primer on this, and then like I don't know how many days it's gonna be for me, but we're still in the same video. We're getting paint done. Because once paint is done, we get our cabinets, or not our cabinets, but our countertops on. Stove will fall in place. We already got our fittings and everything for that. And then also with the sink, plumbing for the shower is done. So I did that in between day 2. So yeah, we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. But let me get some primer situated, and I'm gonna let that set and dry. I'm gonna let it sit overnight. And then like while I'm working at my job, like I'll try to get in here to do like top coats some way, somehow in there in between time. But make it happen. But yeah, we get it done. Oh, if you're wondering, I did dust. I did degrease. I used TSP. I wiped everything down. I let that dry on day 2. So it's ready to prep. I'm gonna go through with a tack cloth again, hit all the surfaces that are about to get painted, and make sure it's ready to go. But yeah, just make sure the prep work, sand, get all the dust off, degrease, and then go through and make sure all the dust is off again. And I went inside like the cabinets, wiped them down with the tack cloths also, so that way like the dust isn't like hitting in little areas. I didn't hit the ceiling. I probably should have, but I didn't. But then I just want to give you that step, and I got all my supplies right here, brushes, a paint opener. And I picked up these little containers where easy pour, but it looks like this lid might actually fit onto this paint, the bucket itself. It looks like mine is the same exact kind of deal. But that would be cool, just for the simple fact of trying to save the paint when you open it, and like you get paint around the rim and you seal it, it kind of becomes like a problem to get it off sometimes. Just to avoid that, I got this bucket, like planning on pouring into, but if the lid fits, that will save us a lot of effort, a lot of headaches, just putting that lid onto there. This is just a little cap that screws on. and that comes off, and then you put this on, and this is the spout you use to pour your paint into your paint tray. And I got like a few, probably need to get more, and we'll decide that based off of when I'm going. Excuse the noise, the AC is going. I decided we're not gonna really try to sweat today too much anyway while I'm painting. Try to make this as easy as possible. But let me get paint situated, get it stirred. And I did get a mixer, but on the instructions on the side of the paint, it says like this stir like gently. So I'm gonna just use the stir sticks that I have right here. It'll make that happen. But yeah. All right, so it's gonna go like that for a while. It definitely feels like I'm a Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. My shoulders definitely feeling this, but I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna get this done. With the brush, I'm actually trying to go around the edges. It's covering more than I was expecting to cover, but I plan on going around the edges to go through with the roller and then roll the rest on. It should go on a little smoother and make it a little thicker. So this is just be like, let's call it the first coat. But by the time I get done with this coat, make my way around, I'll be able to come back to this side and keep going with the roller. But yeah, we're getting there. This patience is actually kind of therapeutic in a way, even though my shoulders kind of burn a little bit, but we're gonna keep going. So day 4, this is where we're at. I have all the primer situated on all the cabinets and the couch, bed, bench, backrest, all that stuff, and even back the closet, linen area. That's all covered. It's been set, it's been drying for like more than 24 hours, so it's good. I'm just kind of trying to take my time to get the paint, make sure that it's correct and that it's good to go. We won't have any issues. So I did go get more supplies. I got another roller and another brush just to go around like the edges with the color. So I'm gonna get the edges just like I did with the primer. It's gonna be the same process. I'm gonna lay it down exactly the same way as I did with the primer. I just want to give you guys the update of where I'm at. So day 4, one video for you, but day 4 for me. We're gonna put some color down now, and I'm gonna do just what you see here. So this video is probably just gonna be like what you see that's primered so far with color, and then I'm gonna close out the video and I'm gonna do countertops after that. So the countertops are gonna come just so I have more room to do all the cabinet doors. And excuse the noise. So the cabinet doors are gonna come at a later date. Like, I'm not gonna show me painting those, but I probably will show like the installation of those, at least when I have like the back portion painted, because I'm gonna plan on painting the back first, and then I'm gonna mount them, and then I'm gonna paint the fronts while they're actually on the cabinets. So that's the game plan. So for this video, we're gonna finish up with the paint. We're gonna get some color on these, and then the following or upcoming, I don't know if it'll be exactly like right after this or not, but countertops are coming just so I have more room to work with, and I'm gonna lay a tarp down and use the countertops actually as like a work area to paint the cabinet doors. And just the same like with the bench, I'm gonna do the same with that, lay out cabinet doors. So cabinet doors will be laid out there, over here, and even over here. And then maybe even like the floor, just so just space wise, it just seems like it makes more sense to me to try to do that than trying to like have them catty cornered hanging over the edge. So that's the game plan. But day 4, we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go with what is it, the traction pad, the tack cloth. So we'll go back with the tack cloth, go wipe everything down again, like another coat. Well, not a coat, but just another wipe down. Just make sure there's nothing, no loose paint or dust or anything's on the primer since I left it last. So we'll make sure that that's good, and then we'll start putting some another coat, or not another coat, the first coat of color on these cabinets. So we're getting there. right, so day 5, bada boom, bada bing. Paint that we're gonna paint so far. Part of the process is done before countertops. This is day 5 for me. It's just because working in between, like actually going to a job and painting, the prep work is very important, and sanding, dusting, degreasing, primer, paint, and more paint. We do 2 coats of regular. For primer, just did 1 coat. For the color, I'm doing 2 coats. But like it all tied together, and I do have like a little bag of goodies right here, just masking tape, and just so I could save the paint, because the bucket I have, like, it started to get like a little crust going around the edge trying to pour it, because I only had one of the special lids at the time. So I got another one and masking tape. The masking tape I'm gonna take before I put on the countertops and go around like the rim of that, just because the countertops, they're glazed with well, not glazed, but they're seasoned with a protector, and it's kind of oily base, so like it might absorb through the wood. So I'm hoping that that will help prevent that. But that's to come. We're gonna have countertops coming in, and we still have yet to do our water leak tests. I need to put some water in the tanks and check for leaks. So that's coming up also. But yeah, this is the process of paint. We're getting there. Like, this is, like, you could tell it's getting close to the end when you actually start putting color and just trying to make things look nice and actually fixing and installing things. So that's a plus. But I appreciate everyone for watching and following along with this process. It's been a long process, but a good process. We're gonna make it happen. So until the next video, I think we're still saying until next Wednesday, it's all about the prep work. Whatever you do, it's all about the prep work. When you're doing paint, it'll make or break you. So prepare for whatever you're gonna do. I'll catch you next week. Peace. TJ.